What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue here with a video regarding one of my favorite types of items in the game, teleportation items. Yes, that thing mages at one point would charge an arm and a leg for. Teleportation items just make me happy because of how much time they save me. Being able to warp between expansions is very satisfying, as I really don't like wasting time. So I figured I'd share with you 10 interesting teleportation items that can save you plenty of time traveling between zones. If you end up liking the video, feel free to check out some of my other stuff. I do uploads every weekday, so I should always have something new for you to watch. Likes and subs are also exceptionally charming things you could do too if you enjoy the content. Anyways, let's talk portals. There are dozens of items that allow you to quickly traverse Azeroth without being a mage, so for this episode I chose 10 that any class in the game can get. There are quite a few class-specific ones which I may end up covering eventually, but I wanted to cover a pretty wide variety of zones you can get to and things anybody can get. There are also engineering wormholes, naturally. However, I chose not to include those on the list either, since that requires you to be willing to grind out a lot of expansions worth of skills to use most of them, and to be an engineer. First on the list we have the Blessed Medallion of Karabor. This shatter resistance amulet was originally the final reward for the quest chain of the assault on the Black Temple and the defeat of Illidan Stormrange. A non-blessed variant of this necklace was a prior reward in the quest chain, which is what allowed entrance into Black Temple. This requirement has since been removed, but this reward is still available and totally worth getting, especially if you're killing Illidan for, I don't know, the 100 and something time for his frickin' warglaves. Seriously, it took me like 100 kills to get the damned things, and I'm never going back into that raid on my rogue again. I think I got the offhand like 5 times, I was so furious. Loot farming aside, this necklace is an exceptionally good way to get to Shadowmoon Valley in Outland. Another option, if you're less inclined to do the quest chain or possibly got rid of the necklace at some point, is the Fractured Necrolyte Skull. This is a time-walking vendor toy that costs 750 time-warped badges, and is bought from Kupri in Shatrath City during the Burning Crusade time-walking event. This method of reaching Black Temple requires the sacrifice of a critter to power a portal, so you'll either want to find a critter roaming around in the world somewhere, or just use the critter hand cannon toy to burst out a plethora of cute little sacrifices for your dark machinations. I've mentioned this toy in another video this week, but you get this as a reward from the Wolf Pack Attack quest in High Mountain of Legion if you don't have it yet. As a tie-in to the 2 Black Temple teleports, we have the ever-shifting mirror toy. While it doesn't specifically need to be used in conjunction with them, this combination of toys will allow you to really quickly get to Shadowmoon Valley of Draenor. This is because the ever-shifting mirror will reveal time convergences between Draenor and Outland via these purple glowy portal things. By clicking on one of these, you'll be transported to the alternate version of the same area. This toy comes from the Burning Crusade time-walking vendor Kupri as well, and costs a mere 500 badges. This one is definitely worth picking up, since you can simply do one time-walking dungeon on any character and earn 500 badges because it'll be your first time-walking dungeon of the week. And since it's a toy, it'll allow your whole account access to this nifty item, which is pretty cool. The only place that this toy cannot be used, however, is in the Netherstorm, as that doesn't exist in Draenor, so it'll basically tell you, no, don't do that. The Violet Seal of the Grand Magus is the final reward in the Return to Karazhan quest chain, which was originally a really cool attunement process for the Mega Dungeon version of Karazhan that was introduced in Legion. While the attunement process is no longer required, this ring is a very convenient way to get to the middle of Eastern Kingdom, so it's definitely worth spending the time to try and get this nifty ring. And as far as I can tell, other than Atiesh, the legendary staff from forever ago, this is basically the only way you can quickly get to Karazhan now, due to them thinking it was a good idea to remove portals from like half of the areas that had portals because people weren't traveling on mounts as much anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Old school players will probably remember giving away a couple internal organs so they could afford this highly coveted ring from Wrath of the Lich King. Nowadays, however, the Band of the Kirin Tor is a theoretical drop in the bucket compared to how absurdly expensive some things have gotten in the game. The Band of the Kirin Tor is an upgradable ring that will teleport you to the Northrend version of Dalaran. While you can still trade in your ring for the upgraded versions, there really isn't much of a point anymore since they all do the same thing, so yeah, don't waste the money on that unless you just want the nicer, cooler sounding name version? I don't know. I guess that's your money, man. While I really like the look of the Hellscream's Reach Tabard, I honestly always transmog the appearance into something that matches my transmog, and yeah. That's because this tabard will teleport you to Tolbarad as long as you're wearing it, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away from your capital city. It also puts you right up where all your other Cataclysm portals are, which means it's an amazingly fast way to get to Uldum when doing your dailies out there. The Alliance equivalent would be the Baradin, Wardens, Tabard. I don't know what it looks like, but it does the same thing, so it definitely is worth picking up. You do, however, need to reach Honored with your respective factions, so there's a little bit of a grind, but yeah, it's totally worth it. The Pugilist's Powerful Punching Ring is a prior season reward for past participants of the Brawlers Guild, so the item level is unimpressive to say the least, and the name is a pain in the neck to say and makes you want to alliterate everything in the same sentence. However, it only requires reaching rank 4 and is yet another easy way to get back to your capital city if you're out in the middle of nowhere. This one is pretty quick to get now since the Brawlers Guild doesn't scale with item level, so the enemies are relative pushovers as long as you do some of the mechanics correctly. Perfect positioning is pertinent to your performance, so perfect play is paramount to earn the Powerful Pugilist Punching Ring. Whew, okay, I'll stop. Sorry, got a little carried away there. This next item on the list is pretty unique, as not only is it a portal for you, it's a portal for anyone else in your group. Getting this requires someone complete the entire Shadowmourne legendary quest chain, which culminates with defeating the Lich King and getting an unsealed chest. This chest contains multiple items, including a mount, an awesome tabard, and some toys, one of which being Jaina's Locket. This item will allow you to create a group portal to Northrend Dalaran, which is pretty sweet to be honest. It's also fairly cheap on the auction house at this point, as I picked up one of these for like 9k on my server a while back. It's definitely a pretty convenient item, especially if there are no mages in your group and someone is just trying to get back to an auction house or a vendor somewhere and they somehow didn't watch this video, unlike you charming people. This next item is the only consumable teleport I'd really recommend having on you, the Potion of Deepholm. Made by alchemists, this potion teleports you instantly to Deepholm, with no cast time or anything. On top of that, it's on a 1-minute cooldown, which is just nuts. So it's basically one of the fastest ways back to your capital city because in the time it takes you to channel a Hearthstone, you can click this, run through your portal to Orgrimmar Stormwind, and boom, you're already in your teleport room. These are honestly pretty awesome, and I only just found out about them recently, so definitely take a look at your auction house if you haven't seen or heard of these before, or if you're an alchemist, see if you know the pattern to make these. I don't know what they cost to make, but they might be an easy way to make a little bit of money here and there. And lastly is the only teleportation item on this list that I still haven't been able to get, the Boots of the Bay. These are a reward from finishing first or second place in the Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza. While there are other options you can pick as your reward, such as the luxurious Dread Pirate Ring, or if you win the grand prize, the useful Hook of the Master Angler trinket, these boots will take you directly to Booty Bay, helping cover even more locations you can instantly reach. One day I'll get these damned things, but until then, these will be my figurative white whale of teleportation items. There are plenty of other items that can teleport you too, but I didn't want this to be like a 20 or 30 minute video or anything crazy, so I figured I'd just talk about 10 of them for now. What are some of your favorite teleportation items to get you around easier? I have a few that I didn't mention on this list, but obviously my favorite is wormhole generators, 1 because I'm an engineer, and 2 because there's one for every expansion. Even if sometimes they put you out in the middle of Dread Wastes when you're just trying to get to your Black Empire Salt and Vale. Ah well, I kinda like the random nature, as it's gotten me to do content I wouldn't normally have bothered to fly to. I hope you guys liked the video. If so, I have plenty of other videos on my channel. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.